We're starting a brand new show here on Pod TV. As you all know, we just finished the online dinner party, but now we've got a new show called Made in Spain, Living in Miami. So I'm going to bring in my two lovely hosts, and they're going to tell about what they've got going on in their part of the world and all along those lines and how things are going in their lives. And I'll let you hear them introduce themselves because that's what this show is all about. And eventually, I might even do it during this show. I'll try to find a backdrop about Miami and all along those lines, as this is a backdrop about Durham, North Carolina. But it's our lovely garden, since I was trying to find something that would be very much a pretty scene, and all along those lines. So we've got these two amazing ladies and all in that space. So I know that the audience would like to learn more about your show in Miami, where you now live at least for another year and a half, and everything like that. So if you'll share a little bit about your lives and what you've got going on, and introduce yourselves. You've got your lovely co-host with you as well. So I'm going to get off and let y'all introduce yourselves, and I might come on with some questions after y'all introduce yourselves as well.
Okay, perfect. So we are very pleased to be here. My name is Julia, and and my colleague is Irace. And talking about me, I moved to Miami 6 months ago for job, and we are the Trade Commission of Spain in Miami. And after 6 months living here, we realized that we love being abroad with the difficulties that it implies being away from home. And both of us studied law and international relations, and now we are trying to apply everything that we've learned through our academic life.
Great introduction, Julia. My name is Irace, and as Julia said, I also study law, and we're doing the same program here in Miami. We're doing an internship at the Spanish Trade Commission in Miami, and we're very happy to be here experiencing Miami life. And we hope we can answer as many questions that you have.
Well, that sounds pretty good and everything along those lines, and that was a great introduction. I guess the first question that folks will probably be wondering, and hopefully we'll get people answering y'all's questions every week. I know that Nick has been saying he's going to be watching from, actually, he's in Florida today, so I think he's in Tampa, so he's just up the road from y'all and everything, even though he moved to Spain, but he's in Tampa, and I think he's going to go to Utah to deal with one of his pension jobs, and then he'll be back in Tampa, I think in the middle of June, for his 50th. That's right. That was a long time before y'all were even a twinkle in your parents' eyes and everything, but his 50th high school reunion. So he's going to be in Tampa for his 50th high school reunion and everything like that. So he's one of the founders of the network. But what has been some of the popular restaurants that you have found in Miami? And maybe you want to tell us a little bit about some of your popular eating places, since y'all are in Miami. And I know that they have great eating institutions. There's some good Cuban restaurants. There might even be some good Spanish restaurants and everything like that. So I'll start there, since y'all are young people, and I know young people, even us older folks in our 60s, like good food. So tell us a little bit about the food places that you have found so far in Miami.
So we especially like one that on Wednesdays most of the Spanish people go, which is called Crazy, and is around the area of Brickell. And we think that's one of the most popular between us. On Wednesday, there is a super cool happy hour that we always go to. We really enjoy that.
Yeah, and the owners are Spanish people. Yeah. So it's like every Spanish community goes there. And they have another restaurant also called Dolores.
Dolores, but call me Lolita.
They're in Brickell too. And it's nice because when you are far away from your country, finding like places where you can taste something that is similar from home, which is not the same, but similar. It reminds us from our home country. So yes, that would be the two Spanish restaurants that we would recommend right now. It's true that the gastronomy part, like in Spain, we eat very, very well, and finding places here to have like the same quality, it's hard. It's hard because we are used to other type of menus or something.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense and everything. Just really quickly, I know that both of you are in that under 30 crowd and everything like that. So have you found any good clubs that you like to go to in Miami as well, or any good places that you like to go to get your dance moves on?
So I think there are two main clubs that we go to. One is called La Victoria,
Yes.
where they put some reggaeton. There is also a lot of Spanish people gathering there. And there's another one very famous that I'm probably most of the people that is watching knows about it. It's called Space.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's for more electronic or house music. But there are also some little bars around, not like big clubs that are fun. There's one called Mad Radio that we usually go to. They play DJ sets on direct, so.
Yeah, and well, sometimes we are like, well, the first months we were going to the big clubs where everybody went, and I think that now after 6 months here, we are trying to discover new places that are around us that are not so famous. But for example, we have like our it's not confidence, but our secure place where we go every Friday, which is called Boho, and it's right next to us. So here in Miami, it's like very difficult to find something where you don't have to take your car and drive out there, but you have next home. So yeah, that would be like our main places that we go, and we are trying to innovate, of course.
Trying to find some other places to go to and everything like that. Now, have you run across any Spanish or American celebrities? Because I know that is some years ago. I went to the Miami Film Festival, and me and some friends of mine ran into LeBron before LeBron became LeBron. So LeBron was actually a rookie the year we ran into him and everything like that. And we ran into him at a nightclub in South Beach and everything. It might have been, I don't think it was Beds, but I think it was one of the clubs like that and everything. And he was actually chased away by a transvestite bouncer and everything like that because he was underage at that particular time and everything. But I was just wondering, have you run across like maybe some big soccer stars or some big basketball players or anything like that?
We've met some Spanish influencers that were actually in La Victoria.
Yeah.
Our La Cantina. They were on their, how do you say, when you're gonna get married, you make a party with your friends before. So they came all the way from Spain to Miami to celebrate. And we also met a famous singer called Nicky Jam.
Yeah, that's true. He's out,
and probably some more, but we don't recognize them. So
right, might not recognize them, but you did recognize them, and I think it's called an engagement party, if I remember correctly.
Exactly. Yeah,
an engagement party. And is the wedding going to be in Miami, or are they getting married in Spain?
Spain, but they were celebrating the engagement party here.
Yeah,
so we met as they were Spanish. We knew them. So we were asking them, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I think that we haven't recognized people maybe that were around the places that we were, but during the parties, like you are not like catching people up. It's that you come up with someone and probably is famous, but you don't know. But we haven't met superstars or international superstars yet.
Not yet.
Is
that maybe that we are not in the right places, but...
Might not be the right places. Might have to go to the right places, get the right party, and go to the right one where you can meet some of these folks and everything like that. There was a lady, because there's these different groups and everything. Like I know here in Durham, there's a singles group, and one of the ladies is a medical doctor, and she was putting out how she wanted to meet people that would show her around the area of Durham, like the different nightclubs. And I think she was into house music and some other stuff as well, but she was getting different people that were going to show her around this town and everything like that. So is there any groups that you would let people know about if they wanted to come to Miami and wanted to learn more about what's going on in that particular city? Because like I said, she just moved here as a doctor. I think she's over at Duke University, if I remember correctly.
Like you mean like a group chat or
like a group chat or like a Miami group chat or a Facebook group that's geared? Because I know sometimes even Nick talks about Understanding China, which is a chat that talks about Chinese politics and Chinese life and everything that he joined, and he's become friends with the administrator. So are there any groups that let people know specifically about Miami lifestyle?
We are in a yoga group.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but about Miami lifestyle,
I think there are some Instagram accounts
maybe
that talk about the Life Miami, different plans that are out there. And yeah, I think that through Instagram is the best place to find something, because we are not using Facebook. Not us. Maybe people are using, but not us. So I think that Instagram would be the place. I think they are all the important accounts that tell something about what's going on in Miami are called Miami whatever next.
Right.
And I think that they are easy to find. The thing is that when you come here from a foreign country and you find people that are foreigners too, but from your country, it's like you make a group and go around places like that, or they're like smaller groups. But inside these smaller groups, when you're from your foreign country, you can find people that have like more relationships here, and that they can bring you out wherever you want to go.
For example, we started to go to yoga classes on a park that is next to us, and there we started to meet some people that is also new in Miami and wants to meet other people. So I guess the best way is to go out and do some activities, and you will meet people for sure.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I know that Kim, who's the other founder of the network, has become a big fan of TikTok. So are you ladies using for your job, or just in general using TikTok? Because I know she's been using TikTok. She's even made some TikTok clips and gotten, in some cases, thousands, if not multiple thousands, of views and everything like that. And that's Kim Calhoun, one of the founders of the network. So I just wondered, have y'all been having a lot of success with TikTok as a social media platform?
I don't post a lot on TikTok, but maybe we should.
Yeah,
I think Julia knows better about it.
No, it's like we are, there's like a generational gap, which is between Instagram and TikTok. And we were on the Instagram era, and I think we still are. And TikTok are like younger people and people that want to do more. But we consume a lot of content from TikTok, because it's really interesting. You can find whatever you want on different fields, fashion, traveling, activities, wherever. And after that, I don't think we are too comfortable posting on TikTok. And I also think that it is like harder to work on that social media than on just posting a photo that you have to edit the video and whatever. So we use it, but as consumers, not as active users of the app.
That makes sense and everything. You said there's a generational gap. Now, both of y'all are relatively young and everything. So is it like mostly the 20 and 30s that are using Instagram, and the 20s and teenagers are using TikTok? Is that what you're seeing? So it's more like the 20 to 30s are using Instagram?
Yeah.
I think from 21 to older people, we use more Instagram.
Right.
Yes. And the youngest use TikTok.
So more like the high school kids and the kids that are like in college, like beginning college.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that it also depends on the content that you consume, because there are some specific contents that are better on TikTok due to the nature of the content. If people want to tell about something or talk or whatever, it's better on TikTok. But if you just want to show an outfit or a picture of a place or food, it's good on Instagram. So that depends on your interest, I think.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That would definitely make a whole lot of sense and everything like that. Now, I'm imagining that there are certain hobbies, and we talked about this last time, that you are probably engaged at. You mentioned yoga and everything. So picked up on yoga, and are you also playing tennis and volleyball and skating? Because I know that those are other sports in Miami. So have you gotten into your volleyball or I know there's some golf in there as skiing. Sports have you gotten engaged in?
So I think for me it's mainly yoga. Some days we go to the gym. Other days we just take a walk around the area, which is really nice, so we can watch the sunset or running.
Yeah, we must confess that we are not the most sportive people that you're gonna meet. But it's true that Miami environment invites you to go out and just, for example, walk around or wherever if you are not very sportive, and you can meet people also like doing the same path every day. But yes, we are not like very keen on sports, I think, either, so we are not practicing any other. But I think that doing sports is a good place to meet people and to disconnect.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I know when I was down there for the NAPTI conference, a lot of people were fascinated. Just like in Memphis, there's the flamingos. I think that's what they are at that particular hotel. But there are a lot of chickens that are around there. So have you stumbled across these chickens that are all over Miami? And what was your reaction the first time you saw chickens just walking around and not being served in the restaurant, but they were just walking around casually and everything? So what was your initial reaction when you ran across Miami's famous chickens?
We were surprised at first,
because on our entrance there are a lot. So we were like,
what are they doing here?
It's close to the sea, so we didn't understand.
Yeah, it's strange
the concept. But yeah, I think they are cute. They don't bother us.
Yeah, but it's true that we didn't expect chicken around us, mainly on the street, because it's not like the typical animal that you find in a big city.
Right.
Yeah, we do prefer chickens than rats.
That makes sense. And we have rats in Durham too as well. You don't want to run across the rats, and I'm sure that sometimes when you run across those, you're going like, "I wish I had a cat, so the cat could get rid of the rats and everything." So you have run across some what we call vermin. So you have run across some rats and some other bad animals when you've been out and about.
I don't know how to say.
These big lizards.
Oh, okay, the lizards.
Yeah.
We have to go to Everglades so we can see
the bigger ones, the alligators.
Yeah.
We've seen someone, and before, I don't know where they are now, but before that, at our entrance, there was a duck family, plenty of ducks. So we didn't expect that to happen also, but there are like some signals out there, like it's caution, ducks crossing, and it's like, what's that?
Yeah.
But that's the most strange things that we found out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I don't know, and it's, if you want to go there, you can. If you don't want to go there, you don't have to. But you have family that is in Spain. You might have a significant other that's in Spain as well and everything. So how do you maintain keeping in touch with those people that are special to you, since you still got roughly a year and a half to go still there in Miami? So how are you able to keep in touch with those that are special to you, whether that's a significant other or whether that's family members and everything?
So that's actually a bit hard because in the mornings we go to work, and when we finish work, it's already super late in Spain. So for calls and everything, we try on the weekends or we send text messages, but it's actually really hard with the time difference. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
Yes, and well, thanks to WhatsApp, video calls, FaceTime, for example, when I was in Spain, I remember that I called my family, but on a regular call. And now I always put the camera on. So just you can be more in touch with your family. And we are always sending photos of everything that we are doing. So it's like social media really helps us to be in contact with our loved ones, even though it's difficult to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things that I know that people love is they love to find people of different cultures, and they are fascinated by people of different cultures as well and everything. Because I've got friends even here in Durham that are of Chinese descent, and in fact, they just moved, the young couple that used to be from the countries that fight each other, Eritrea and Ethiopia and everything. And definitely there have been some people from some of the European countries and some of the other countries as well. So I'm wondering, are you getting a lot of people that are giving you attention and are fascinated by the fact that y'all are from Spain? And sometimes y'all have to even slap their wrist and be like, no, I'm going back home. I'm not interested in you and everything.
So, well, I think in Miami it's not very uncommon to meet a Spanish person. So it's not like the special culture, let's say. Right. But yeah, I think when you are a foreigner, gets the attention of people living here. But I think Miami is made of people like from every part of the world. So
Yeah.
it's not like if you go to another state in the United States where there is no Spanish people and you go there. I think that will be different.
Yeah, that would be a lot different and everything along those lines. What have been some of the people that you have met from other places? You mentioned meeting some of the Spanish folks. What are some of the other countries that you have run across, whether they're European countries or whether they were Latin American or whether they were even the African and Asian countries? So I'm sure that in the 6 months you have probably run across people that are even doing the same kind of work that you're doing and everything. So who are some of the people that you have run across?
I think Latin Americans are the most that we found out, mainly because of the language. When you are out and then you listen to someone that speaks the same language as you, even though we are very used to speaking English, it's like you started speaking Spanish. It's something natural that comes from us. And I think, Latin American are like the most that we've met. It's also true that there are a lot of American people that we've met, but it's like for cultural reasons or language or wherever, we like make a click more with people that are from Latin.
No, not so much you. Well, you have different facial features. Like one of you is blonde, the other has got brown hair and everything, or brunette and everything like that. So to my brunette sister and everything like that, do you sometimes find that the people are automatically thinking that you are from like Colombia or Portugal?
No.
In Spain.
No, not for me.
She's too Spanish.
Yeah, I'm like too Spanish, I think. Maybe, yeah. It's that people, if normally they hear me speaking before meeting me, I think that I've never have any.
It's because of the accent.
Yeah, I think the accent changes. Well, it's true that I have like a funny thing that happened to me, that I got into a taxi here or anywhere here in Miami, and the person that was driving the taxi asked me if I was an actress on a TV series from Latin America. And I was like, no, sorry, it's not me. It's maybe because I'm like too bronzer or whatever, too sun-kissed, but it's not me.
But they thought it was you. They thought that you were.
No, I wasn't. So I think it's the only time that it happened to me here. Or in Spain, it never happened to me before.
Never at all, and everything like that. What was the number one question that your parents ask you about Miami? Because Miami is an international city, and I'm sure that as older adults and everything, that they're probably worried about you and everything like that. So what is the number one question that your parents and your loved ones ask you and everything?
That's a good question.
Maybe security, I would say, because, well, but in Spain too, it's like if around us the space is secure, that we can go home alone. It's like the first question: if the area that if we are moving is a secure area.
I think also they are worried about if we are finding good people to be around. They ask me that a lot, like, how is it with the people there? Have you met nice people? I think they care a lot about that. They know if you meet good people, we're going to be okay.
Right. That makes sense and everything. Have you run across any of the people in Miami? Because I know Miami has some Spanish television stations too and Spanish radio. So have you met any of those people connected with that as of yet? Because there is like even Spanish things that are active in the different cities. Because I know even here in Durham, we've got some Spanish newspapers and some Spanish radio and television and everything. So have you ran across any of those folks that are in the Spanish media there in Miami as of yet?
So at the trade fairs, like Content or NATPI, we've been with a lot of Spanish firms that also work here in Miami, like Media Pro or some of the big ones. But yeah, it's more in the work environment, as we are in the audiovisual sector. So yeah, it's more related to that, but not in the personnel.
Not in the personnel and everything like that. Now, what movies have you gone to see as well? Because I know that sometimes you got to have something to break the monotony. And you mentioned the good food and the good clubs and restaurants and everything. But I'm thinking sometimes you want to go see a good movie or a good play. So, what movies or plays have you seen in Miami that if somebody was to come down there in the next week or two, you would recommend that they go see? Or have you had a chance to get to any cultural activities?
So I really like going to the cinema. There was a Spanish cinema festival of cinema some months ago, and we went to watch really good Spanish movies like El 47 or Marco.
Soy Nebraska.
Soy Nebraska. There were a lot of Spanish films, but we also go to watch some Americans. Like right now, we want to watch Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
It's a new release. And also there are a lot of museums that we have to go because we haven't gone. Like Vizcaya Museum, Perez Art Museum. There's a lot of cultural options that people can go to. Even if you think that Miami is not very cultural or that it has a lot of cultural activities, it has a lot. It's not just beach parties.
Not just the beach and everything like that, and all on those lines. I had two other quick questions for you and everything. One is, I know that Scarlett, who is a friend of Kim's, is down that way and everything. So I was wondering, have you been to Art Basel yet? Because I know that she's involved with that, and she's down there in that area, and she was actually at NAPTI and everything like that. So I know she still is involved in that whole AI space and all along those lines. So if you had a chance to go to Art Basel as of yet.
So we haven't got the chance because we arrived in January, but we are really looking forward to Art Basel. Like everyone told us, it's one of the best weeks in Miami. We have some friends visiting us, so I think it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's going to be like a fun. We'll have to put you in touch with Scarlett so that you can connect with her, because she knows some influencers as well. So she's very much involved in the influencer space as well. How much does it cost to, when y'all flew to Miami, is Miami to Spain an expensive flight, or did you have to work out a good deal with the airline? So from Spain to Miami, and did you have to get routed through another city?
So it depends on the dates, but it's not, you can find good deals. I just got my flights today to go to Spain in summer, and I got them for like 700, like the two ways. And so I think the distance is like Spain's pretty far away, but for that price, I think it's okay.
Yeah, the connection is not that bad.
Yeah, because it's a direct flight from Miami to Madrid, so that's perfect.
And you can go to Madrid or Barcelona. So there are a lot of options. I think it's really well connected, so it's a positive point between the relationship between Miami and Spain.
Okay. And you said you're going in the summer, like in July or August, and how long are you going to be going back home to Spain?
I will be there for 2 weeks, and I'm so excited.
And that's going to be in July, or that's going to be in August?
In July, because in August, it's very difficult to be in Madrid because no one is in Madrid in August. Everything is empty because of the weather. It's like more than 40 degrees Celsius. That it's way more than in Miami. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and it's super dry, so everyone escapes from Madrid and goes to the coast. The people that are lucky and do not have to work in that month, because we some years had to work in August in Madrid, and
it was horrible.
It was horrible.
Yeah. You cannot stay at the street. Like you have to be at home or just go out during the night because it's extremely hot. So I don't recommend to go in August to Madrid.
So it'll be a July trip for you and everything. Yeah. So it'll be next month. Now, what are you going to do with your partner in crime being gone for 2 weeks? So you're going to be off.
I'm going to miss
Fortunately, we have other friends, but are going to miss her a lot. But I go to Spain end of August and September. So yeah, we're going to separate a bit, but just for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So just wait for her.
just a couple of weeks. Y'all just be there for a little while and everything. Now,
Yeah.
does Spain have a popular, because we have another show that deals with the cruise industry, does they have a popular cruise industry in Spain, or do y'all not really like the cruise industry that much? Or is there a lot of people do cruising like with the ships in Spain?
There are some in
Barcelona,
Yeah.
it's like the key point where cruises are located. It's not that much that in Miami, because in Miami it's
Yeah, it's
whenever
Yeah.
everybody's on a cruise. But in Spain, it's like typical to go on a cruise by the Mediterranean or the Nordic area. Yeah, it's typical.
Okay, so it's typical to get a cruise there and everything. Have you tried to jump on one of the American cruises, or y'all like, nope, don't want to get on one of these cruise ships?
Not yet. We haven't had time.
So what's on the wish list of things that y'all want to do in the year and a half that y'all are going to be in Miami? So what's something that y'all are hoping to go to that you haven't had a chance to do as of yet?
Going to Bahamas.
Yeah.
I haven't visited yet the Key West.
Mhm.
Going to see the alligators.
Yeah, Orlando maybe.
Orlando.
Wish we could go to Disneyland. It's like the tourist part.
Right.
We want to do it, even though it's too touristic.
Also, we want to visit Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
is very close. But yeah, there are many plans to do here.
Yeah.
We are not gonna have enough time. So
You're not going to try to go down to Peru and see the Mayan ruins and everything? So that would be interesting. Maybe
yeah,
that would be interesting.
We have
too.
some friends that are going to Peru actually on August. So
Oh, they're going to go. They'll bring the pictures back for you so that you can see what's going on and everything like that. You'll be able to check out what they've got going on in that space. Now, have y'all been using? Because I know one of the things Rick's been talking about on some of our other shows is AI. So in your offices, have you been doing a lot of AI in order to get the word out about Spanish tourism and the work that y'all are doing? So have y'all been using AI a lot in work?
not that
really.
much. Maybe to when we have to write or do some research, we use it, but we haven't incorporated 100% yet.
Yeah, it's like our job is really personal. We are like attending people, answering their questions, doing that personalized services, and the AI can do this because you have to meet the people, to know the interest, to mix the knowledge with the interest. And I don't think that the AI is prepared to do this. Unfortunately, because if not, we wouldn't be here. So we haven't incorporated it yet.
Yep. What's the most unusual question somebody has asked y'all at the job? Because y'all been there 6 months, and I'm sure somebody has asked a question that you're sitting there scratching your head, going like, "I don't believe they asked me that."
A lot of people comes to us and ask, how can I get my the Spanish nationality if
Yes.
I had a grandfather that lived there for 2 years, or had a great grandfather that was from Spain? And it's like, we are not a consulate. We are like we work on other topics. So it's like about the nationality acquirement. I think it's a very typical question.
Yep. So people are trying to figure out how they can be claimed to be Spanish, because I know
Yeah.
even Nick talks about his royalty, and I think he talks about being connected to some distant Spanish king. I'm not even sure who he is, but I know he talks about him all the time. One of the founders of this network talks about having that Spanish connection and everything like that in his own roots, in addition to his Mormon roots and all along those lines and everything. What do y'all do for your spiritual groundedness and everything like that? So have you found it good? Well, I'm thinking in Spain, most of the people are Catholic, but maybe they're Baptist and everything. So have you found a good church in your area as of yet, or are you still trying to find a good church home?
We haven't found one really.
No.
Not close to us.
No, yeah, that's true. It's like there are churches, but not Catholic next to nearby.
because the thing is, there are different kind of churches or religions here. I feel like it's not just Catholic like in Spain. So I think that's confusing sometimes for us.
Yeah.
So we don't really know where to go.
Gotcha. But I am correct in thinking that most of the churches in Spain are Catholic, right?
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
And what is y'all's individual cities? So for folks that are watching it, we'll get a wrap up shortly and everything. And we'll do another one of your shows next week and
Sure.
backdrop of Miami and everything, because everything. But tell folks about the individual cities that you are from, because I don't think y'all are from the same city and everything, and what people might like about that city, because we call it Made in Spain. So tell us a little bit about where in Spain both of you were made, and a little bit about those individual cities.
Mm-hmm. So I'm from Madrid, and I think one of the best things of Madrid is like the ambience in the street. There is always something to do. There is always people to hang out with. It doesn't mind if it's Monday or Friday. There is always people willing to go out and have a coffee or a beer or whatever. There are a lot of cultural options in Madrid. It's a city full of culture. And yeah, I would say that those are the two coolest things of the city.
And what about you?
Well, I'm from the north of Spain, from Navarra, and from a very little village, Vallata studied out Pamplona. And Pamplona, it's famous because of the parties, the San Fermines. And I think that it's a really cool city. It's much smaller than Madrid, which is the capital. But I think the north of Spain, it's sometimes a bit underrated. And the truth is that it has lots of options regarding gastronomy, good weather. Sometimes it's true that the weather is not always good, but people are nice and the plants are really nice, and like there's a good community that it's open to everybody. And the good things about Spain, it's like every region has its own culture, so it's really multicultural. The ambience that you can find in Spain, it's not the same where you can find in Madrid or in the north or in the south. Yeah, and I think that to meet Spain, you have to meet every single part to know what Spain is.
Yep. One of the things I know about Spain and other parts, how are the open air markets and how is that experience? Because I know that sometimes you will get the groceries in the regular grocery store, but it's my understanding that in parts of Spain, the country part, that there are like these open air markets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are a lot
where you can get food from.
There are a lot of open air markets, especially at the small villages.
Yeah.
In Madrid, it's not so common. There are some, especially in the weekends, but I feel like in the village it's super common to go to an open air market where everything is natural, homemade, home cultivated, and the food is incredible in most of the parts of Spain.
Sounds delicious and everything. What are some of the are there, because here in the States a lot of people are into craft beers and craft wines, and I do know, but I think Spain is known for some wines as well and everything. So what are some of the drinks that people might find that they might want to get if they are into the drinks or the spirits and everything? Because like I said, most times when people think of spirits, they think of France, but I also know that Spain has some beers and wines as well. So what are some of the wineries that people might want to check in your home country?
For sure, the wines of Spain are incredible. I would say one of the best around the world. Not because I'm from Spain, but I really mean it. We have Rioja, Ribera, and well, there are many, but the qualification of these wines is different from the ones made around the world. So I think it's more difficult for the people to know what to buy. So for example, a really good red wine would be Crianza.
Yeah.
It's different.
Well, the thing is that there's like a big range of different wines that you can taste, and it's like you don't have to taste red wine. It's like inside the red wine qualification, there are a lot depending on the quality that you want or the money that you want to spend. So I think that it's really cool. Here in the United States, it's like Spanish wines are not really recognized.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly why. Well, yeah, because they are far away. California has its own production, whatever, but the Spanish has a very, very good offer and good quality.
Yes, we're gonna explain this better.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that would last
like
for 2 hours.
Yeah, like the difference between how.
Yeah, we'll have to get into a whole conversation about the wines. That could be a whole episode and everything like that. 'Cause
Wines in Spain.
yeah, wine in Spain. That could be one of the episodes that we can get into. And just really quickly, and this will be the last question for you. How is the car culture in Spain? Because I know that a lot of times in Germany, there's those fast routes that at incredible speeds and everything. I think it's called the Autobahn and everything like that. So are there any particular brands of cars that are particularly popular in Spain? Like I know my younger brother, who's 7 years younger than me, so he'd be mid-50s, is a president of the Polaris Club. So if y'all ever, it's like a wheel. So it's one of those 3-wheel cars instead of 4 wheels and everything like that. So it looks like the Batmobiles. But I just wondered, are there any popular cars that are popular to the Spanish culture, and do y'all drive as fast as the folks do in Germany? Because every time I talk to people that have been on the Autobahn, they talk about how fast it is.
No, we cannot drive as in Germany, because in Germany they have these, they can go at the velocity that they want on the highway. And that's only in Germany. It's the only country in the world. In Spain, there are a lot of controls of speed. So even though people still go fast, I would say, especially in the highways. And regarding cars, for example, we don't have trucks because everything is smaller in Spain, so we don't use trucks. I would say popular cars in Madrid could be a Mini, Audi. It depends, because there are many, but of course they are not as the luxury cars in Miami.
That we are used to see.
Here everyone has a luxury car. In Spain, it's not like that common.
No, I can relate to that, because many years ago, like in the late 80s, before y'all were born and everything, I went to work at a newspaper, and it was a high school, and me and the photographer went there, and I saw all these cars. They were like Porsches, they were Jaguars, and they were all of that. And I think I was probably roughly y'all's age now and everything at that time. So I went to the counselor, or the person that was doing I think it was like a science fair running for the school, and I said, I noticed y'all drive really fancy cars and everything. And they looked at me and they said, which parking lot were you at? I was like, and we'll make up a direction. I said, we were at the East parking lot. She was like, that's not our parking lot. That's the student parking lot. So all those fancy cars were the fancy cars of the students and everything. So they had Jaguars and Porsches and Benzes and all of those fancy cars.
I wouldn't say that is the common thing in Spain, to be honest. But
no.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody's trying to drive by y'all and impress you with their fancy cars, and y'all are sitting there going like, not impressed.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great conversation. It's went for about 45 minutes, which I was hoping for, 45 minutes to an hour. So we'll try to do this every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. So I'll see y'all next Wednesday. I'll send you another link, and I'll give y'all a backdrop of Miami. I won't give you the pond this time. I'll give you a backdrop of Miami, and I'll also try to find some commercials about some Miami restaurants and Miami products and everything. So I'll try to find some Miami days to add to the show and everything. So
thank you.
Next week. And right now we're going to go out with a commercial about I think we'll do keep our kids safe, because that's always a good thing to do. And then we'll also have Kendu Spice, which is a spice company and everything like that. So we'll end with these two commercials and everything. But you two ladies were amazing as always, and I look forward to seeing y'all next week.
See you. Bye.
See you next week. Bye.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, hear. You can do it if you try.
You know how how people love to enjoy food and don't understand how to flavor their food or how to replicate a meal? They're interested in supplements but don't know where to begin? Well, what I do is I take the guesswork out of enjoying flavor and wellness with my flavorful spice blends so that they can create delicious meals with healing benefits. Can Do Spice was created to help cooks at any level enjoy healing through food. Every spice blend was designed to give added health benefits of natural herbs. Every blend is complete. There's no need to add any additional spice for a delicious meal. Saving you time and money while adding supplements to your meals can be both tasty and fun. My earliest memories in the kitchen began with my father, Kenny Can Do Bond, so it was fitting that I would name this line after him. I have always looked to natural remedies to supplement the body, and I found myself hiding herbs and minerals in foods for my family. That's when it hit me. Everyone needs Can Do Spice. Everyone should be having this. It's an exclusive brand for cooks at any level who want to create flavorful dishes with healing benefits that can satisfy the body and soul. Add a little spice to your life. Give Can Do Spice a try.